afternoon, everyone. Jason Phillips, new wide receivers coach here.
Your first impressions of being here and back with Coach Prime?
Actually, it's been a great experience. I've been with Coach Prime a long time. You know, obviously, you guys are aware he and I played together in Atlanta. We first met doing the All-American Tour, so I've been knowing him a long time, and I know his expectations, and it's just it's a breath of fresh air for me to be here as opposed to being on my couch like I was last season.
How is he different or similar as a
He's
teammate
not,
and
he's
field
not.
coach?
He demands excellence. He demands you to meet the expectations of the standards that are set. He's a winner, obviously. Everywhere he's been, he's won. Every sport he's played, he's been a dominant force in it. So he hasn't changed at all, in my opinion. And it's good for these kids to get to understand what it takes to be champions and what it takes to be winners.
You obviously have a lot of talent returning in your room with Travis and Jimmy and Amaran and some of the younger guys, but also bringing in some talented guys too. I mean, what's been kind of the mix for the wide receiver room throughout the offseason so far?
It's hard to tell because the guys that we recruited aren't here yet. But as far as, you know, the guys that have been here last year, we've been hit with a little bit of injuries this past off season, so hadn't really had a chance to see Jimmy Horn yet. Travis obviously is pulling double duty at this point, but I'm sure he'll be a lot better than he was, you know, last season as far as understanding what's required of him and what's expected. But it's a great opportunity for the other guys to get reps and to get opportunity to get reps and to prove who they are and why they're here. So I'm looking forward to that. And coaching everybody in the room, that's the main thing, making sure that everybody's ready.
Coach, what have you seen from LeJohntay Wester so far?
Extremely quick, extremely knowledgeable, a veteran, a guy that, you know, understands and read coverages well, and just an explosiveness. I mean, it's no secret as to what he did last season and why he's here, because he's an explosive player.
You mentioned physicality is going to be a key for your group, and what have you seen out of your group early on in that sense? And how do you pull that out of them?
Oh man, it's an expectation. Everything we do, the way we approach the field, how we take the field, how we run routes, is all physicality. It's not always about putting, you know, hands on people. It's a mindset, and we need to establish that mindset early. And we're going to be able to do that given the numbers shortage at the position. So we're going to see how mentally tough you are, because you're going to have to be in order to play this game at the level that we want you to play it and we expect you to play it. So physicality will be a big part of it.
Coach, what have been your first impressions of Amaran Miller?
I like Amaran Miller. I'm starting to fall in love with Amaran Miller. So we're in the dating stages right now. So it's just a matter of, you know, him continue to mature and be the player that we all expect him to be, and obviously be the player that he expects to be. And he's taking the right steps toward that.
Coach, just to follow up, I recently talked to Tim White, Hamilton, retired heads. Obviously, he was very complimentary. You talked about, you helped him coach him to his first 1,000-yard season. He talked about your commitment to excellence and just being consistent. Why do you think that stood out about your coaching back then, and why is that important?
First of all, Tim White reached 1,000 yards and was an all-CFL player due to him, his abilities, and just him being coachable. My job, as every job I've ever taken, is to come in and give guys my experience, my expertise, my knowledge, and if those guys can take that and help them to achieve their goals, then they'll be successful. So I appreciate Tim White for saying that, but trust me, I had nothing to do with that other than just being at the right place at the right time and him being coachable.
What is the plan with Travis as far as corner and receiver?
Travis will be Travis. That's the plan. As I'm getting to understand the plan as we go along, because this is my first experience here, having a player like that, and then also being in a situation where he's being utilized the way he is. So I was under the understanding or impression this was his first day with defense. I'll get him on Wednesday, so I'll have a better understanding of how we're going to do this.
So you might wake up every day like, I might have Travis today.
As long as Travis show up in the building, we got Travis.
We know that Coach Prime sets the standard, but what does your standard look like in coaching your room?
Just be coachable, basically. Our guys, be disciplined, okay? Be coachable, be disciplined, and like I mentioned earlier, just be physical. You know, come here every day wanting to do this, not having to do this, right? You got to change your mindset. It's got to be, I get to do this, not I have to do this. So those are the major things, just changing guys' mindsets and changing their perceptions of things. You can't come in here begrudgingly. You should not hit that door and not be ready to practice. You can't wait till you get to the practice field and then prepare to practice. You got to come in this building like we come in this building as coaches, ready to get it in. So that's just, you know, the approach that I'll take without everything I do with these guys.
One last question for Coach. What have the offensive meetings been like with Coach Shermer as you guys are just kind of preparing to install what he wants to run with this offense?
Interesting, considering we're doing a lot of things that we you know, we took a lot of things from last season, from my understanding, and then obviously we're gelling it into, you know, obviously his philosophy, and then we're adding some things that he's been successful with and doing in NFL. So my background is run and shoot, obviously, and air raid. So I'm learning a lot. That's why I use the term interesting, because now I'm learning a different system. So that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but when it comes down to receiver play, it all lines up.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.